Thank you, Presiding Officer. Will the Cabinet Secretary outline his priorities for transport for children and young people?
Yes, the Wales Transport Strategy sets out our agenda for an accessible, affordable, safe and reliable transport system which works for all our people and communities, including children and young people. Our National Transport Delivery Plan outlines the wide range of actions that we're taking to make this vision a reality.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. The young people of my village are trapped without access to a car as there are no active travel routes and public transport can be too costly for more frequent travel. The taxi of mom and dad is the only alternative in many of the more rural parts of Wales, which is holding many young people back. Whilst that My Travel Pass is welcome, public transport is still too expensive for many young people. Cabinet Secretary, what considerations have you given to offering free public transport to all those aged between 16 and 21?
Thank the member for his question and say that that sort of suggestion is exactly the sort of consideration that we need to take as we move towards re-regulating bus services, which will give us much more control over the networks that we operate in Wales and how we can apply a fairer regime. I have looked at the various figures over the years, but the picture has changed quite dramatically since COVID, and the cost at the moment would be unaffordable given the constraints on public finances. But I have to say, with regard to young people very heavily rely on public transport, particularly bus services. And since privatisation in the mid-1980s, bus usage has dropped by a third, and bus costs have increased by over 400%, as compared to 163% in increases for motorists. So the price of taking buses has increased disproportionately more. And actually, it's often people who are on the lowest wages that use buses the most. So there is a real social injustice in this, which we're going to seek to address through legislation and through a fair regime. I'm happy to share with the member some news, though, today about the role that TfW is playing in gathering more information from young people. Back in 2022, Transport for Wales, with the support of the Children's Commissioner, introduced a Children and Young Persons Charter, but we've asked them to build on this and to convene a Young People's Advisory Group to be able to gather information and experiences that will then shape transport policies in the future, including reduced and potentially free bus travel in Wales.